discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Fat Nasty Nerd Run-Throughs, and this time we are continuing on with our top 100. I mean, it is technically a top 10.
Right.
It's 90 to 81. It's 90 to 81. So, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get started. With number 90. Okay, so this is a game we actually mentioned in the last one. My number 90 is Escape Curse of the Temple, which is another real-time game. How many of those do I have on here?
So far.
Right? Okay, Space Alert technically, 5-minute dungeon, so that's 2. Then I had Captain Sonar, then Escape. Yeah. Huh, guess I just really like real-time. Escape Curse of the Temple is probably the gateway of real-time. There's really nothing to it. And what you are is you are explorers in the temple trying to get out. The base game is literally you're just rolling a bunch of dice as fast as possible, trying to get matches to be able to find the exit and get out before time runs out. It's a 10-minute game only. And I don't know, I really like that, what a lot of people don't like about real-time, that frantic, just like tense the entire time, and like how if you like get locked up on your dice, you're like, don't get me! Right. Otherwise we can't win, because you all have to escape together. And so it's really intense, because I think halfway through you have to make it to the middle, and then you go back out and explore. It's just a blast. And then they have a bunch of expansions that add curses, which are whimsical ones that it's like, hey, if a die falls off the table, that's gone forever. Or you can't talk, and you can try and break the curse. Or you have to have a hand on your head the time while you have it, so you can only roll one-handed. Those are just super fun to do. That, I mean, they could not be on this list.
Well, the one time I played that game, we had a dude that liked to cheat.
Oh, you're kidding.
And we caught him.
Oh.
Because he was like rolling, he'd like flip, the dice.
Just get away. It's like, why would you do that? Like, really?
I know. And
I thought you were going to be like the one time like we found out my daughter has seizures or something. Like, oh my god.
No.
Something awful.
It was
just one guy who ruined it for everyone.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That guy sucks.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, it's my number. I mean, there's really nothing to the game. Get it, because it's a blast. Out of all the real-time games I've mentioned so far, there's probably like 10 others on here that I don't know about. I would say get Escape first, because it's the most simple, and it's still just as fun. I don't think you'll have a real-time game on your list. You might have one real-time game.
We'll see. All right, my number 90 is Masmorra, Dungeons of Arcadia.
I know what it is. I've never played it. It makes me think of Arcadia Quest.
It is. I mean, it's in the same world. It's the same thing. It's just the difference is.
Game?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have the Kickstarter version with all
That's
that.
That's right.
But pretty much what it is, I ended up buying a Kickstarter version. I didn't back it because it took me a while to get my head around what it was, because I love Arcadia Quest so much. But it comes with a bunch of Arcadia Quest miniatures for heroes, and then which also can be used for Arcadia Quest, which makes it even better because there was a pack of cards. So all the heroes that came out from Masmorra, there was an Arcadia Quest crossover pack that came with their hero cards.
Oh, that's
They
cool.
can all be used for Arcadia Quest, and then it also made all the Arcadia Quest heroes.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why it's kind of like I had to have it,
For the record, Arcadia Quest didn't make the list. It's at 121.
That was my one. It was 121. That one game that I.
Oh, that's I said Gloom.
Yeah. So anyway, but what you're doing, it's a dungeon crawl, and it's a cooperative dungeon crawl. Semi-cooperative. But it's nothing like Arcadia Quest itself, because you move in, it's tile reveal, and then it'll have an icon on it that'll say roll this dice. The monsters are not miniatures in this game. The monsters are those really big chunky dice that are kind of like, I don't know what,
like seasons?
They're about that size.
Okay.
Yeah, but they have pictures of the bad guys and their hit points and stuff. So like when it says, okay, you need to roll a white skeleton die or whatever, and you roll it, and that'll be, okay, that's the monster for that tile.
Okay.
So it's not miniature based, but that was a way they kept the cost down, I think.
Fair enough.
Because it was cheaper. This Kickstarter was cheaper than Arcadia Quest and stuff like
good,
that.
because with Simon.
Right.
It's like, wow, what's the base pledge?
Exactly.
$600.
Right.
That's good.
So anyway, and then you defeat those, and you get rewards, and you get your gold, and
is it
all that
mission
stuff.
based? Is like
It's pretty much there's a bad guy.
okay.
And it's not scenarios and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's just a dungeon crawl. I mean, that's really all it is. You're leveling up your characters as you go and stuff. I mainly got it. It's a good game by that deal. I mean, obviously it's 90.
Yeah.
Because I like dungeon crawls. And
Right.
I like the world and stuff. But the thing that really made it cool was being able to
Crossbreed Arcadia
with all of
Quest.
my Arcadia Quest stuff.
Right, and you have all the Arcadia Quest stuff too, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I only got the base game and that might have been what killed it, was we did a campaign for my channel, and so we had to bull rush through it.
Right.
And that is a stressful game. You're just like, fuck you, and
Well,
in your shitty dwarf, and I had Seth, who was basically the most
Right.
OP character in the base game. And yeah, because at that point, once you, I like, in that campaign, I like ignored everyone else and just boosted up Seth, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do a magic attack. I'm rolling 10 dice. You don't get to roll defense. You're dead. I win.
Right. So I mean, that's more or less what it is. I mean, it's just nice and simple. You know,
All right.
it's a good one.
All right. My number 89 is. Aha. Okay. By the way, I'm still continuing. I have not. He's been looking at his games,
So I can know what to say.
so you can know what to say. See, I know enough about my games that. My number 89 is Unfair.
Yes.
Jumped on this list after, and I've played it multiple times. And, like, first of all, it's called Unfair, so it's a cutthroat game. A lot of people, like, for some reason, are like, no, it's roller coasters. You don't hurt each other. Yes, you do. It's like, so, getting that out of the way, yeah, it's roller. You're building your own theme park. And it is thematic because of the types of decks and cards that come out. My favorite thing probably about this game isn't the fact that, it's the fact that, while yes, it's called Unfair and you can be real cutthroat, you don't have to. Right. You can literally just play the cards to benefit yourself, and afterwards you get to see your theme park, and you get a bunch of points for how you built it. But there's strategy, what?
I was just thinking of the time we played. It's like you can sit back and be nice and passive, but just make sure you keep some kick-ass cards in your hand for if somebody decides to start a fight. And then you can answer back. You don't want to be like super passive and then just get
hosed. Yeah, it'd be the target. Yeah. So the first time him and I played, I was like, yeah, okay, this is pretty. We're nice to each other. Then I was like, oh, it's okay. I'm gonna play this, and he's like, so that's how it's gonna be, huh? I'm just like, oh no, what did I do? You're going for also blueprints, which are a bunch of extra points, but they hurt you if you don't complete it.
I think tickets and Ticket to Ride.
Yeah,
same.
Yeah, it's the same thing. And there's just a bunch of different themes that they still haven't released the other ones.
Well, I was going to say that after you got done talking about this. So there's the Alien and the Western theme will be coming out in 2018.
Oh man!
If you were a Kickstarter backer, you've been getting emails, but to sign up to be playtesters for those. So I've signed up to be a playtester.
Okay.
I haven't found out if I'm going to be yet or not.
Okay.
But they're playtesting it now. They said it'd come out in 2018 at some point.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a lot like Smash Up. They have so many. Well, I mean, they have so many. They're not going to come out as fast. I don't think that's going to be the difference. But
it's not the same company, is it?
No.
Okay.
No, but I think they're using the kind of the same model. They're going to come out with 2 decks at a time.
Okay.
In a box, like the Aliens and or Cowboys or Western theme or whatever is going to be this one. But if you were a Kickstarter back with the promos, there was also a dinosaur theme. There was tech theme or something like that. There was all these different ones. That they're eventually, those were just kind of like teaser cards of what's coming.
Right.
So I mean, there's going to be stuff coming down the pipe. It's just.
And that's the thing. Is like so the base game comes with vampire. Does it come with 4?
Yeah. There's
vampire, pirate.
I'm drawing a stupid
jungle
right now. Jungle theme and
I don't remember what the 4th one was.
Monster.
That's it. Gangster.
Yeah,
and each faction does something different. Well, yes, they all have the same general cards, but like the gangster one, you gamble. You build casinos and stuff like that, and you can get points if you want to gamble.
And however many players are in the games, how many themes get shuffled
Right,
together. So
right.
4-player game, all 4 of those themes get shuffled together.
And I really like it a lot, and so they can just keep doing the same smash up thing and just pump out a bunch of different themes to it. But it's a lot of fun. You get to build your own theme park. Don't think Roller Coaster Tycoon though, because I think if people are thinking that, then they're going to be disappointed because it's not that, and that's fine. That's okay. So that's unfair. My number 89.
My number 89 is the oldest game on this list.
Is it Fitch or whatever that game that Fletcher mentioned?
Pitch, no.
Pitch.
No.
Is it from the 40s?
This is Milton Bradley.
Okay.
From 1990.
Hero Quest.
Hero Quest.
Yes. I was like, that's, I can't think of anything else.
This is the very first game I ever owned. My cousin bought it for me back when it came out in 1990. And I kick myself still for selling it. I sold it like 6 or 7 years ago. Mm-hmm. It's still held up, in my opinion. I mean, I know some of it was nostalgia.
Probably.
But, you know, it's got the whole Dungeon Master thing. One person's the, oh God, I can't remember that guy's name now. But anyway, and it was scenario based, so you would read the scenario, and then you had a nice player shield, and you'd have his.
Didn't have like 3D elements to the game.
3D.
Yeah,
3D
that was back
tables and treasure chests and doors.
Back when people weren't trying to use that just for a cash grab.
Sword
and sorcery.
I mean, you could still get this game if you want to spend $200 on it, and you're not going to get one and those are with beat up boxes.
Yeah, it's going to be. At that time, no one knew the value of board games.
You can buy replacement components on eBay. You can like get 2 doors for $15, little cardboard doors. I mean, it's ridiculous. But
you could probably 3D print your own.
Probably at this point.
Yeah.
But it's on this list for nostalgia purposes. Plus, it's on this list because I think, and I've heard people say this, like on some of the podcasts, it still holds up. If you want that kind of a simple game that's not Descent heavy. This one goes in. I mean, you get items, cards, whatever. It's just pretty much a simple thing. Nothing reveals in the room until you walk in or open the door. Once you open the door, the Dungeon Master will place whatever it works because he has like a little map that's set up, and he places everything that's supposed to be there. So you don't even see the furniture. You don't see anything. You walk in, and then he puts all the stuff there.
Okay.
So it's pure co-op, obviously.
Right. Right. I was gonna say something about this game that I can't remember. All I'm thinking of Hero Quest is that guy on YouTube. I don't know if I showed you the video. He does an unboxing for this game, and it's fucking his. I think it's a Nordic broadcast or Bard something. I have to look up the YouTube channel, but he does an unboxing, and it's fucking great.
Yeah.
Nostalgia. I can't. Man, I was gonna say something else other than that, but I can't think of it right now.
Yep. But anyway, that's my 89. It's one that I still wish I owned.
What were you saying before? Oh well. Whatever. 88.
Yes.
We're on to 88. My number 88 is Innovation, which is a brilliantly designed card game that is it's not a civ building game. It's like it kind of is per the era. So the game sets up with 10 different eras that you go through. That you have to have a certain number of points, innovation points, to be able to be like, aha, I'm actually more advanced. I don't need to be, hitting rocks together to hopefully create sparks. Now I actually figured, and so you go up on this innovation track. This game is very cutthroat, very mean to each other, because there were cards in there where it's like, oh yeah, all your red machinery cards, they're mine now. And it's like, what? As you go on through the eras, and there are certain ways. You can either wait till the end of the game by era 10, or I think there's another way you can win by getting like bonus, like those kind of like specialty cards almost. Have you ever played Innovation?
I have seen it played.
Okay.
Never.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I actually think it works really well as a 2-player game. Also well as a 3-player game. Anything after that is just chaos. It's just I think it's too much. But this is one of those games. They also have an expansion. Something Echoes.
Of the Past.
Yeah. I haven't played it with that yet. So I'm just talking about the base game. That, I mean, it's a really, really solid strategy game that you'll get your fix of kind of that Civ style game in not 6 hours like Through the Ages or 100 hours.
There is a new version coming out that's going to have the expansions with it.
Oh, really?
It's like a black box.
Oh, the deluxe edition. Yeah, we
have...
saw that at Gen Con, and it was like, really? I've heard it doesn't look as good.
I don't. Yeah, I just know that I saw.
They did a reprint of it with actual artwork, and it just looks way better. So no, it's really cool because it's symbol based as well. So how you play your cards, your innovation cards, allow you to do certain abilities based on the symbols that are showing. So it's really smart. I like it a lot. So that's my number 88.
All right, my number 88 has 2 names. The version I have is called Rise of Augustus.
Okay.
I think you get it now. It's just called Augustus because I think it switched.
Is that the? Oh man, keep going. I think I know what you're talking
it's
about.
bingo for gamers.
That's it.
Yep.
That's kind of sworn this was.
It is a game. I got it in a trade from some guy, and this is a theme because it's ancient Roman theme that I never thought my wife would like because she doesn't like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, I put on the D20 list, you know, that I've told you we do, and I pulled it out and we started playing it, and she loved it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because I think it's just because it was, well, a lot of it's because she won.
Probably.
I got last place. I got my ass handed to me, but and then we played it several times since, you know, and me and the girls at least. It's pretty much. I mean, that's what it is. You have your stuff in front of you. You bingo it out. You get the resources for that. You're trying to finalize things and get points. I mean, it's very simplistic, but it's still there's decisions to be made because when you're trying to finish stuff, you have to decide where you're putting the tokens. On the board as well.
Yep.
Like if you want to finish this thing first or this thing first, you know, and everything. So because it's got like all different, like when you pull the bag, the thing out of the bag, it's got there's all kinds of different resources, whether it's chariots or whatever, and you have to choose, okay, do I want to put it on the chariot? This card to get close to finish, and put it over here and start this one.
Okay.
You know, you're trying to finish cards.
Oh, so kind of like the Roll Through the Ages whenever you're building the monuments.
In a way.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it ends when somebody hits a certain amount of points, and I always try to spread my stuff out. Because there are some
by the end.
There's one of I can't remember what resource it is, but there's one that's like super rare. There's like 2 is all that's in the bag.
Okay.
And I didn't realize that the first time I played it. So I'm like building up. I'm like, if I could just get this one done, and it never came out.
Gotcha.
So it's really fun. It's really
it hurts when you don't know something in a game, right?
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
You lose whenever you don't know something in a game. 5 tribes. Stupid genie. So that's your number 88?
Yes.
All right. 87 is Plague Inc.
I played the app. I've never
played the app. Okay, yeah. It's the board game based off the popular video game that came off on Steam. Think reverse pandemic. Instead of trying to cure the world, you're trying to kill the world with modified diseases that you create.
Well, you are the disease.
Or yeah, you are the disease. Right. Sorry, you're not releasing it. You are the disease. And the board game did such a good job at emulating the video game. Now, obviously, it's not as expansive, but yeah, you just slowly start watching your disease and like the disease that you make. You start thinking like, well, what if it starts off as a cough, and then I think I had one that like it made people fall asleep and they had brain hemorrhages. It was so like, oh my god, and then you just see that start sweeping across the world, getting points off of it. I actually played this game with a friend who's actually a nurse, so he was able to think of actually all medical terms on what they do and the side effects on what they do. So it was very it's almost depressing a little bit. It's like these are really messed up diseases that you're giving to people.
You're trying to get this, so the airplane will go over and infect another country, and you see it start changing.
Yep, or even by sea, and it's a brutal game, and it's point based off that for how many you kill, And you can be like, some countries are safer because, hey, it's hot, so you have to design for that heat resistance, so you just start sweeping that area. And the end game, actually, I ended up tying with my friend who was a nurse, and the tiebreaker is the first person who can fall on the ground and pretend they're dead.
Oh, that's cool. And
so I liked it, and he was like, I told him that, and he's like, you win. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, all right, fair enough. It's one of those things that I like those kind of tiebreakers, or I like those unique start of player kind of things. But I can understand why it's like, I'm not fucking doing that. I'm not going to pretend I'm dead.
It's everything Pandemic should have been, making a good game.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I completely agree with you, except I don't. Pandemic is a good game. But no, Plague Inc. is awesome, and that's all I got.
All right.
87.
87 for me is Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Good one. I do have the expansion.
No, I don't even own the game.
Piece of shit.
See,
shit's on Pandemic and doesn't even own Betrayal.
There's a lot of you'll find out a lot of these I don't own because either somebody else, other people in other groups I play in have it, or my family just don't play it.
It's like a perfect family game.
Yeah. Well, no. Here's the deal. The same reason I got rid of Dungeon Run. We'll go back to that real quick. My wife loved Dungeon Run until it became a one versus everybody against everybody, and she hated that.
Gotcha.
There was an old Walking Dead game. I think the first Walking Dead game that came out was like you were all working together, but then when somebody died, they became a zombie.
Oh,
and she hated that. She hates it when all of a sudden one player turns and then the game turns from a co-op to a one versus all. So she hated this with a passion.
It's the best part.
Oh no, I agree. and I liked it because I mean there are some super wonky stories and stuff that doesn't make sense. There's broken crap and but you don't play it for that reason. You play it because it's just fun.
It's so much fun. The building the house part is so fun. Right. It's like, why is there a kitchen on the second story?
Right, exactly.
Who does that?
Right.
And I mean the one part. I mean it's an older game. And the problem with that game is like if you're playing with new people and that new person is like and you're like, oh,
that's what they need hit and roll game though. You have that issue.
Right. No, I mean I love Betrayal. It's a very fun whimsical game that it's tense because you're like, okay, when's it gonna happen? And you're rolling on these dice and you're like, oh, it happened. Who's the traitor? Who's up against everyone? I love that. That's actually my favorite part. So
yeah,
your wife's wrong. 86. My number 86 is Epic Spell Wars Duel at Mount Skullsfire or Rumble at Mount Tentakill.
Either one.
Yeah. They're actually coming out with a third one, which and they all can be combined into one, which is what I do.
Yeah.
Such a whimsical game. If anyone, I mean, you've probably seen it on tabletop. Actually, I did a run through for this. I forgot about that. That was the first video I did where I did interviews. Kat actually hates this game because she always dies before really getting to play. This game is so quick and Adult Swim, the card game pretty much with those names and those combinations are just super fucking weird and awesome, and I love it.
Now, do you make it a requirement that you have to announce the spell?
I do
casting it.
I do. Yes, you do have to say the spell. I don't make it a requirement that you have to say it in the voice. Because that is like the first time it's like, oh, how are you going to do the voice? And then the second time you're like, okay, this is really annoying. No, I don't make it a requirement.
Now, I really enjoy this game. I have both of those. I'll never get rid of them because it's awesome. But as far as it's not always a quick game.
I guess that's true.
Because I used to bring it to another group I play with, and they won't play it anymore because we played. Does it go up to 5?
Yes.
Yeah, we played. It was max player count, and we're like, okay, we'll play this. It'll take 30 minutes, 45 minutes, something like that. 2.5 hours later.
Oh my god!
Because you win when you get
two Last
tokens,
Wizard Standing tokens.
Every person,
I guess that's true,
got 1 before somebody got 2.
Oh man, yeah.
And I mean, it took forever.
That's kind of like Love Leather, though. Like
yeah, but Love Letter's super. I mean, it's
sorry, Lovecraft Leather.
Oh yeah,
Let me rephrase.
Because it goes a little longer because of the special stuff.
Yeah, where you have to get 2 of something.
Right.
I guess that is true, but the cool thing about Epic Spell Wars is the fact that if you die, it's not like, oh, I died. You get like bonuses for when you come back.
Oh yeah. No, I I really enjoyed it. It's just I know that's what
I should mention. Like,
don't go into it thinking it will.
Yeah, it's not like a
15-minute
game
every time.
Yeah,
because there's a chance it could
Granted,
go long.
I have played it. That's true. I have played it with 4, and it is a little bit longer. Most of the time, I play it with 3. 3 is just as fun. And so yeah, you can do the same type of spell because they have like glyphs on it to power it up a lot, or you can do a really short quick spell to hopefully kill them before they activate their spell. And the names and the artwork is just gory and gruesome and disgusting.
To kill.
Yeah, it's so, and you're just sitting there laughing at the type of spells you're spouting off, and you're like, these are so weird. It's a blast. I love it, and I can't wait to get the 3rd expansion. The second one actually adds creatures that you can have to kind of protect you.
Blood stuff too, didn't it? Like
yes, you can gain blood to boost up your actual spells. So I mean, if I had to choose between the two, I actually would like the first one better.
I like the first one better.
But you can just do the blood. It doesn't make it any more complicated, really.
Right.
This is another thing. So that's my number 86.
My 86 was a Kickstarter I backed a while back. They've had some expansions come out with it. I think there might have been one not too long ago. It's called King's Forge. It is a dice chucking game. You go around and you purchase dice, and then you're trying to forge these really cool weapons for the king.
Okay.
But it takes certain dice or numbers. It's Game Salute.
No, I feel like I think Rado just did a run through.
Yeah, the base game came out. Gosh, I may be jumping the gun on this, but maybe 3 years ago.
Okay.
4 years ago. But then they had like an assistance expansion that I got, and then I stopped buying after that. But then there was like a Glassworks or something like that. But so the promo that came with the Kickstarter was called the Ring of Lords, and it was the One Ring.
Oh.
So it was.
Okay.
But you have to get certain dice because there's like red ruby dice and there's green emerald dice, and there's different colors of dice, and you have to match up those dice with at least the number that's on that card.
Okay.
To get that victory points.
Okay.
And there's certain, they're obviously the bigger victory points are hard to get.
Right.
But if at any time somebody gets bigger numbers than you, they can take it.
Okay.
Oh,
I see.
So like if it has 2, 2, 2, 2, 3 to get this thing, you have it, and they roll and they get like 4, 4, 4, they can
just take it from you. Oh, I see. Okay.
Stuff like that, and
like they build a better quality version of that. Okay.
Right. So you're trying to. The theme is you're just trying to impress the king the most, be the one that impresses him the most with your forging skills.
All right.
And it's, it came with they actually called it the totally unused, or I can't remember, it was the board, you didn't even have to have the board.
Oh, really?
But they called it had some goofy name that they came with because it was a stretch goal, and you put all the dice in the locations and stuff.
But you didn't need it?
No, you don't have to, but it was kind of a neat little thing. It was fun. It's just it was kind of, it just didn't keep the steam as much as I would hoped. That's why I got rid of it. But it was still a good game.
Okay.
It's just the people I played it with, it didn't really stick with them as much.
Okay.
And there's other games that will kind of fit in that
replace that
theme.
And
So that's why I kind of.
All right, I think I would like. I'm thinking that I have a few games in mind that kind of remind me of what that does.
Yeah, you ought to look it up sometime and just see. But it was cool because the dice, they actually made the dice look like the jewels. So like the red dice are kind of translucent, and the green dice are kind of translucent. And then there's ones that's whatever the themes were. I can't think right off the top of my head, but they kind of made them.
Like match what you're trying to build.
The resource was in a way. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, that is really cool. I will have to look that one up. I'm gonna go through your list after we're done with all this and just take the cards that I want to look up. 85 is Forbidden Desert. So Forbidden. I've never actually played Forbidden Island because that seemed a little too gateway for me at the time. But Forbidden Desert, I remember playing it over and over and over and over and over. Just I had a headache from how mad I was because we just kept. Actually, Kat eventually left, so I was like, I'm gonna play by myself. I played it like maybe 15 times that night, and never won. It is such a hard game, but a really, really good co-op game. If you don't know, you crash land in this desert, and you hear about some ancient device, some aircraft that you're trying to actually find all the pieces for. And the game it comes in a tin box. It's really cool because all the pieces are actual pieces that you build on your ship. It's awesome. So you get like that satisfaction when you do win. That we have the propeller that actually spins, and we have everything. And it's a tile-based game. I think 5x5 with a eye of the storm that moves around, that causes the desert to shift and things to get buried in the sand. And so not only are you worrying about that and how now you have to dig the sand out to be able to flip over the tile to figure out what it is, you're also worried about, you know, your water consumption and your thirst and the heat of it. So there's multiple ways to lose. Most of the time it's just going to be because you all die of dehydration. But it's not pandemic, but it has the same type of ponds.
If it gets too, I think then if it gets too deep, the sand splits out.
No.
Or is that, am I thinking?
I don't know what the hell you're thinking of. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Sorry.
But no, what it does do is that the sun beats down the cards that are actually really tough to that hurt you with your water. There's a certain number of those spread out throughout the deck, so you can pretty much card count and be like, okay, one's coming up, and each person has their own unique ability that is absolutely necessary. It works with all player counts, I think, and I have beaten it. I should mention, I just didn't beat it that night. I think I went the next day and I was like, all right, I'm calm. I'm just gonna sit down and play it, and I ended up winning.
I will say, you said you haven't played Forbidden Island.
Right.
It is easier, but I suggest playing it.
Really?
Because they have, on the, whatever you want to call that, the little tracker deal, there's an advanced version.
Oh,
that
really?
Makes it harder.
Okay.
So I would try it on that, because it is hard. It's hard to beat Forbidden Island.
Okay.
Because of the flooding and stuff, and you have
right,
to get
sinking,
around.
yeah.
So
I guess in my mind I was just like, okay, I have Forbidden Desert, why would I get Forbidden Island?
yeah,
Like,
and I mean, I have them both.
yeah.
Forbidden Island, I think, is, where Forbidden Island is probably like one as far as complex, and I would say Forbidden Desert is just a nudge up in complexity. And I'm not going to say it's any easier to beat, because Forbidden Island is just as hard to beat as Forbidden Desert, but the mechanics are a little more complex with the Eye of the Storm stuff.
Right.
I mean, that ramps that one up.
Yeah, and with Forbidden Desert, like the Eye of the Storm it can be stupid. Like you can just be in the corner the entire game. But one of those things is like, if it's not stupid, it makes it so hard.
Right.
And but yeah, no, I love it. It's a blast. Forbidden Desert, 85.
All right, my 85 is.
Do you think we're gonna have any crossover? We have to have at least some crossover.
Oh, yeah, we'll have to.
You think we'll have any same number crossover?
That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting. And number ones are the same.
Yeah, right.
Because you're
like 5 tribes that much, don't you? Anyway, Space Hulk, Death Angel card game. It is Space Hulk was a miniatures board game. Anyway, this is the card game version of that.
Let me guess, you played solo.
It can be played. It's pure co-op, so any
pure,
co-op game can be. I played it solo. I played it.
I think it works better as a solo game.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. Like, it's okay. I played it 2 and 3. 2, we've each taken 2. You take 2.
I think you have to.
And stuff. But it is really, really difficult. Because you have the Tyranids flying in. If you have all the expansions, because there's a Mission Pack 1, there's the Death Wing.
We're thinking of the same game, right? Where like you're in a row. You're basically going
they're
in a corridor,
row, and like some stuff can flank you. So you have to be facing the right way. And do
I just want to make sure.
I got rid of it like 6 months ago. I had it and all this stuff, but I have a rotating collection, and I hadn't played it for a long time. And since FFG got rid of all that license, all the or Games Workshop.
Yep.
Stuff. I sold it for a pretty penny. Just
really?
A box for like $130.
That one game?
Yeah.
I got it off eBay for like $15.
Right. I mean, so it sells high now because it's not going to be made again.
Okay.
But it's super difficult.
It is so hard. It is so brutal. Only because really everything's random.
Right.
Like,
when you die, you're dead.
That's it. Yeah.
I mean, it's.
But you could still. It's not like the game's over when you die. Like, because I play the 2-player as well.
Right.
And I mean, yeah. Eventually, your people just start dying, and you have one person left.
Right. And then they all just cascade. You have like 20 monsters.
Yeah.
Now,
man.
Here's a question for you on it, real fast, so before we move on. Was your dice messed up in your version? Because the version I bought and the version I played before, what got me to buy mine, every time you rolled the dice, it landed on 1 or 2. I swear to God. I mean, I'm talking like 80% of the time. So we ditched the dice and got our own.
It might be loaded.
Our own dice, and it became more fair. Because we were just losing like crazy.
No, I don't think so.
Always landed on 1s and 2s.
That's funny. I don't remember it ever actually doing that. If it does now, when I play it, I'm gonna be like, okay, this is obviously loaded, and then I'm gonna replace it.
So I don't know if it was just a low quality die. You know.
Funny enough, this is like one of Raw, like because he hates Ameritrash. Right. That's literally all this is. Kind of, sorta. Right. I mean, it's all luck, but he loves this game. I think he has like some sadism, like punish me thing, because this game is so hard and it's frustrating. I would say. It's like, what website am I on? Is this? Do you think this game was more complicated than it needed to be? I went in because John and I were playing it, and like we broke it out, and I don't think it really clicked for him or me, and I don't think it worked for him. But I was reading the rulebook and I was like, this seems a little bit more complicated than what it...
Well, the rulebook wasn't very good.
Okay.
To start with.
Okay, because I was very confused.
Setup.
Because like whenever you activate your color, you activate both of them.
Right.
And that wasn't crystal clear. I thought you had to pick one.
Right.
And I was like, this game is impossible.
Yeah, it's difficult, and it wasn't.
And you can abandon, you can leave the aliens behind, but I think they shuffle back in.
Right.
And they'll come back.
So it's. I mean, it does a good job, because have you ever played Space Hulk?
No. John told me about. He was like, it's a miniatures game, pretty much like this.
It's a brutal-ass game, miniatures game too. So I mean,
do you have the miniatures game?
Oh no.
You fucking suck.
No, I hate you. But no, it's well, there's another guy in my group that has three copies of it. The original one, the second version, and the 3rd edition, or whatever.
Why?
Again.
Is that the same guy that?
He's the one that's a professor at Pitt State. So anyway, if I ever want to play it, I just play his.
Yeah.
But it does a really good implementation of bringing
the miniatures game
into a little card.
I don't know if I should try to sell it. I mean, at this point, if I got it for 15, but no, I don't like to sell games like you, because I'm not a greedy piece of shit. No, so 84 is okay. A game I actually just recently played. It's and then we held hands. Made my list. It is.
Can't say I played that one.
Nope. I think I told you about it.
Yeah,
I
you
think you and your wife would really like it. It'll help you with your marriage. But that's the theme of this game is a shattered, failing, not marriage, but relationship. Very, very abstract in this game, but I think it does such a good job making an abstract game thematic, which sounds like an oxymoron, because that doesn't seem to make sense. But the mechanics of the game, you're literally trying to just move a marble onto a certain color, and but because each card you flip over is like anger. It's like, okay, well, it's my turn, or the game changed from the version I have to where one of us has to at least land on that. But you only have certain cards. You have, I think, 6 cards each. But you only have one half. It's supposed to be from your perspective. This is how I'm seeing things right now in our relationship. And if you're trying to get to red, then you can play, and to get to red is like blue, black, green, or blue, black, red. You can take your cards, or you can take yours and then theirs, but if you leave them with nothing, then it can hurt you. And so, but what you're trying to do is there's like this meter that's like, red and black are negative, and I think it is blue and green are positive. So if I go more to positive, then then I'm unbalanced in the relationship, and I don't get to redraw. So if you land on red, and you like, so if to get to red, I went blue, red, or blue, black, blue, or whatever, and you end in the middle, then you get to redraw, which is key to winning. You come back into the discussion like calm, and this game is so hard. Like it is very, very hard, because the kicker is you can't talk. You can't talk. You can talk, but you can't talk about the game. You can't be like, oh, you should take my card and do this. None of that. It's supposed to be you coming into focus, dealing with and like looking at the relationship and being like, okay, well, because it's not easy to talk, and when things are shitty in a relationship, it's not easy to just be like, let's talk about this. Right. I think this is what we do as human beings. No, it's hey, no, this is I'm right, you're wrong, and it's so good. It's a blast, and very, very thematic. Kat and I worked through a lot of problems with okay, we're really not seeing eye to eye. Break out, and then we held hands. I see it now. So yeah, that's my 84.
All right, my 84 is a small box game by AEG. It is Valley of the Kings. Nope, never played that one. It's Egyptian theme. It's got the minute little tiny cards, like the Ticket to Ride little cards. And you have a little pyramid set up on the table, and you are buying stuff off of the pyramid. But you have to buy from the bottom. So when you buy from the bottom, the pyramid shifts down.
Okay.
And then you replace at the top, and then as you buy, the pyramid falls down. So you get set collection. You're getting stuff that gives you powers and stuff. But then here's the cool part about this game is you have this stuff face up in front of you that's giving you abilities or whatever it is, but then they don't count as victory points until you bury them in your crypt, your tomb. Okay. You entomb them is what it is. So like when you're done with that card, as your action that turn, you entomb that card, and that's victory points at the end of the game, and you lose the ability.
Oh, okay.
So like you get all these cards.
So kind of like Elysium
cool stuff. Yeah.
Okay, where you have like your Elysium, where you move them down, you don't get the ability anymore, but you're going to get the points. Okay.
Right. I mean, it's similar. It's just a small box. There's another expansion called Afterlife that just adds more cards. You throw them all together.
All right.
So you're buying stuff, set collection, doing all that stuff. You're entombing stuff, but then if the game happens to just end, anything out here doesn't do anything.
Right.
And it's anything that's in your tomb. So you have to. There's a fine line, just like in Elysium. There's a fine line to know when to start banking the stuff.
Right.
And you have to pay attention to what other people are doing to make sure that the end game isn't going to happen and you get screwed. Because you can't just say, okay, I'm going to take all these cards and entomb them. It's like you get one entomb.
Yep.
Yep. So it's
okay,
but it's a blast. It's a really quick game. It's short.
Yeah, no, that's because I really like the mechanic in Elysium, but Elysium's a longer game,
right.
So it'd be nice to have that same thing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, so number 83 is all right. A small box game called Bullfrogs. Area control. It's such a the theme of this game is freaking stupid. Like what it is you are frogs hopping on lily pads or a tree just to get points. It's a really solid area control game though. It's nice to look at. Like sometimes it's just nice to be like, I'm a frog.
Yeah. I haven't played that one yet.
So the game is card based to where you play these lily pad cards, and you're trying to have the most frogs on it to get the points. And if you do that, then you can actually start moving them, and they hop off onto the other. So you can actually get some really good combos. And there's end game scoring for the cards that you actually broke, so those go into your hand. If you have more, I think, of your color, you also get extra points, but also you want to get bonus points for having the most frogs on the log that's in the middle. And so you can do that. But also, if you end up disconnecting in the lily pad, they pretty much float over, and you can set them next to something else to try and get some combos. Very small game that I would never have initially played. This was the very first game I played with John, and I was like, this game's really good. I love it.
Yeah,
so
it looks pretty cool.
Kat actually likes it a lot too, so that's also a plus. So yeah, I mean that's my number 83.
All right, so my number 83 is Alhambra.
Okay.
Played that one?
No, I have not.
Okay. It's a classic. It came out in 2008, so it's been almost 10 years.
Yeah.
There's a, not bidding, you're buying from a deal to get a tile, and then that tile will eventually go into your Alhambra.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a really cool mechanic because you have these cards that you've drawn that have all these different numbers and colors on them. And when you buy something, if you pay exact change, then you get to buy again.
Oh, okay.
Another tile. But you can, or you just overpay to get the tile. I mean,
yeah.
It's kind of how it is. But but it's got the tile laying thing. You're building your deal. You're connecting walls.
Yep.
And then it has like a black border on the outside, so you have to make sure that all stays on the outside. You have to make sure there's a path to your fountain the entire time.
Okay.
You can't block it off or anything. And then at the very, very end of the game, there's bonus points for the color tiles you have too at the end of each round. But then at the end of the game, whoever has the most continuous wall will get a big boost in points as well. It's pretty simplistic. I mean, there's a lot of thought that goes into it and stuff as far as where to put the tiles and stuff. And I think it's been a while since I played it, but I think you have like a place where you can store a tile after you buy it. You don't have to put it out at that point, but you can only store one.
You can like hold on to it.
Right.
Okay.
So it's one of those old classics. You know, it was one of the first games I played with one of my other groups. You know, and it was a good one. Queen Games is who does it.
I remember watching it on tabletop. That was like one of the earlier games, and at that time I was like only into miniature gaming, so I was like, I don't give a shit about that. But no, I really do want to play it because I honestly think I would like to love it.
Yeah. I've owned the big box, which has like probably 15 modules in it. I mean, there's so many expansions for that game. I mean, it has a map on the inside the lid of the box of where to put the crap.
You're kidding.
And that was too much for me at that point, so I sold it, you know, and then I bought just the base box, and that's enough for me right now. I mean, we don't play it that often, but when we do, it's a good one.
Okay, all right. 82 is, I don't think it'll be on your list, it's Mice and Mystics, because it's a good game.
It was on my disappointing games, remember?
That's a real shame. Because Mice and Mystics is your typical like dungeon crawl kind of game, but except it's in a world where you're mice and everything is scaled to mice, and so like your shield is a button, and I guess you do have a regular sword, but it's so whimsical. It's such a fun, cute game that works really well as a game. Like it's story based, so it's not like scenario. Well, it is scenario and mission, but there is an overarching story of just a fantasy. Hey, evil queen comes in and turns everyone into mice, or not everyone turns these guys, because I think they're about to be killed or something, and the wizard casts a spell that casts them out, and that's how they escape the prison, and that's what starts. And so you're going through this whole storytelling. It's a perfect, couples game. It's perfect. I think it's a perfect kids game. If you're,
unless they're my kids.
Well, your kids are weird.
I like it.
Kids are homeschooled, so.
Homeschooled.
So, so the game is all Ameritrash, and the fact that you walk in and like there's enemies that are centipedes and spiders and stuff, and you roll these dice, and you get bonuses, or not bonuses, you get power-ups, and the power-ups are cheese, which you spend to use special abilities, and so you level up as you're going along. They have 2 expansions out. This game is like actually out of print. It's super hard. I have the Heart of Glorm expansion. The Downwood Tales one is actually their bigger box expansion that I can't find. There was a guy who was selling it, and he actually had it all painted, and I was like, oh, how much? And it was stupid, so I didn't get it. But I love this game. It's higher on my list at 82 because I haven't played it in a while. I really need to just go down and just play it and just finish the story. it's a blast. I love it a lot. So 82.
Well, this might be one that will be top 20 for you, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. You don't know my list. My list changed a lot.
Roll through the ages, Bronze Age.
Damn it, dude! You got it. It's totally on my list.
It's
stupid game.
It's super fast,
super
dumb,
fun, super gay.
You can play it solo.
It's pretty dumb to play.
It uses the Yahtzee mechanic.
Yeah,
with
so
the wooden
Don't
dice.
like Yahtzee.
You have to feed your people.
You
build your civilization.
You have to expect to get hosed by the dice. And I totally would have won that game too. I was doing so well. And there's plague. Oh, they're starving. I'm like, oh, okay. This game.
So it's probably the
dumbest game you have on your list.
Simplest civ building game.
It is, yeah.
But it's also the fastest. I mean, I can play a solo game in 5 minutes.
Yeah. No, I should say, I do actually like the game. I think I would like the Iron Age more, but the reason why I'm bitter about it is because last time, we played like 2 times in a row. I lost like by a couple points. Then to play it again, and I was doing so well. Like I finished so many things, the dice were totally going my way, and then like all of a sudden it was like plague, so I lost points. Plague, I lost points. Plague, I lost points, and then they fucking were starving, so then I lost a shit ton of more points. So the big monument I built, which was like 18 points or something, I don't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I was getting negative that. So pretty much I played the whole game. It's like, why did I play in the first place?
The moral of the story is just roll dice better.
Oh, you're right. Damn my skill.
But anyway, I mean, it's super fast, and I don't have the Iron Age yet. I think it adds one more.
It adds a lot more. I looked
kind of thing.
I looked at the sheet. It adds like sections on it. Do you think that game gets stale though? Like, because I noticed like whenever we were playing it, like you're pretty much going to do the same thing each time, because it's like obviously you need to do this.
Well, here's the deal with any civ building. This is how I feel about any civ building game. There's the way to do that. So you explore other ways, like go for. I can't remember the name of it right now.
Quarry.
Go for the food, then go for the quarry, and just rack up shit.
Yeah.
That's one of the easiest ways. But go into it saying, okay, I'm going to build stuff this time, or I'm going to try to be, whatever. I mean, there's a ton of options to do. It's just, so if you want to explore it, which is why I like it solo.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to worry about everything
else. You're not competing, really.
You can try to get your high score just doing different routes and stuff like that. And for as fast as it is and everything, that's,
I guess that's true.
Anyway, that's my...
we can actually move on to good games now.
Yeah.
Like my number 81. Oh, it is on here! Okay. So my number 81 is actually Rune Wars.
Okay.
That was the game that I mentioned earlier that it had been 3 years, at least 2 or 3 years since I played this game. And what happened is, if you ever see my shelf of games, you'll see, most of them are actually the boxes, but then you'll see those plastic totes called really useful boxes. Perfect for actual storage of games, such like Talisman, or games that you just can't fit in the base game anymore, and you don't like to have stacks of the expansions, because that's stupid. So, when I started gaming, pretty much anything that had an expansion, I was going to do everything like that. And I highly regret it now. So Rune Wars is in those totes, and I only had one expansion. It didn't need to be in that box. But, so I always forget I have it. Like, 'cause I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I don't know what that is, and I kind of just glance over it. Well, my last game night, I was like, it was going to be war themed. We were going to do Rune Wars, Scythe, and Blood Rage. Rune Wars takes a while, as I had forgotten. But it is a really, really good fantasy war game that does, like, I wouldn't say most of it is kind of original, because you're each of these factions with your own faction sheet, and you have these dials on it, which are your resources, which allow you to go through and get, influence tokens or cards, or the types of people you can recruit. Right. So you're worrying about that as well. The point of the game is to area control and hold at least the most dragon runes by the end of 7 years, or you can try and end the game earlier if you have 6 dragon runes, but you have to announce it and wait a year, so now you're a target.
Right.
And yeah, so I recently played this, and I was really worried. I was like, it's been 3 years, probably at this point I may think it sucks now. No, we were all totally into it. I won by actually a lot. I had like 8, and I like turtled up in my area, and I was like, okay, like just stay away from me. So yeah, so it's fantasy, and the cool thing is like there's seasons. So you go through, the game is actually really simple. Have you played this game?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've heard a lot about
Okay.
it though. Like I know what it's about. I know that.
Right.
Do you have the coffin box version?
No.
That had all the 3D mountains and all that jazz?
No, I don't.
Okay.
That'd be
know
cool.
if it was...
I wish I did. But the so you go through seasons. So the 4 seasons, and that's a year. But the game is played where you just have 8 cards in your hand. And it's one of those, like, okay, this is my action that I'm doing. And so you play a card per season, so you'll only ever play 4 cards, and that's what you're doing. After explaining it to my friends for, like, there was their first time, they were like, this looks busy. They were like, this is simple. And I'm really glad that it's on my list, because surprisingly, it made it to 81 after 2.5 years to 3 years of not playing it. Must have stuck in my memory somehow. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it at 81. After playing it recently, it might actually be higher next time I do this. So 81.
So now we'll actually go to a good game.
You've never even played this one.
I know, I'm just using it.
Fucking 80.
You've played this one,
82
though.
is roll through the ages.
You've played this one though. My number 81 is Scoville.
Oh wow! I expect that to be way higher on your list. Are the rest of them gateway?
I got some good
No,
shit
you
in
don't.
here. Scoville is
10 years ago in their
the
gateway
only
games.
game that I know of about pepper farming.
Yep.
That I can think of anyway. And it's I don't know how to explain. I mean, you're collecting peppers to use them to make increasingly cooler and funnier named chili recipes to get victory points, and you move your little guy around, you have a little chart that crossbreeds different types of peppers to get different kinds of colors when you breed them, and I mean there isn't much really to say. I mean that's
Scoville is what I was thinking whenever you mentioned King's Forge.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, but
because you know,
like that type of just have a bunch of different types to get this one
Right.
card is what I'm thinking.
The one concern I have with the game, and I don't know, there's a player that we both know that's colorblind that really wants to play this game. Oh yeah, that's true. And I don't know. I know they make the peppers
Different shapes.
different size,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that helps with, you know, like.
From what I've heard, that's why they made them like
Okay.
that.
Well, right, but I'm just trying to see if that's still an issue. They're like because the red one and the green, I mean, they're not that much different.
Right.
You know,
I would almost think you'd have to give them their row.
Right.
And then they'd like label it almost.
Right, or something. I mean, I don't know. I was going to try it with him and see, because he really wants to play it. You know, but it's a really good one. It's unique theme, good quality.
It's a lot of fun. It's smart because you're trying to crossbreed and you have your own chart, and like you're sitting there like, okay, how am I going to move around here? Because you block each other too.
Right. Yeah.
If you try, and so you're like, there were times where I'm sitting there like thinking of multiple paths, and then Cat would go somewhere, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, how can I still get there? And I'd have to do a long run to be able to get the bigger points. Mm-hmm. And even then, even though I got a lot of the bigger point ones, she got a lot of the smaller ones. Mm-hmm. I did win, but not by much.
Right.
In fact, actually, there was one. It was like the last turn. I ended up getting one more pepper, or one more type of pepper. And because she's like, oh well, I can't get anything. And she actually could have. If she had fought for first player, she would have been able to get it, and she would have won. Right. So it was like 6 points I won by.
Yeah, because what was the determining for first player? What, do you remember?
I think you bid on it.
Was it bidding?
I think so. I can't remember. I just played this game, and I can't think of it. But there was a way to do it to try and try and go for first player. No, Scoville, it's a good one. Have you played? You didn't play the expansion.
I haven't played the expansion yet.
Okay.
We will. It's just, I think they could do. I mean, they could do more.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just
there was a lot
more
in
recipes, add more you could, I mean, you really couldn't add more peppers because then you'd have to have a whole new chart.
Yeah, exactly. No, you don't need new
stuff,
peppers, but just more combinations of things to make. Okay, so that is 90 to 81. I hope you are still enjoying. I would say let us know what your 10 are, but we're doing 100. So let us know what you think of the games that we've mentioned in the comments below. Click the I to go to 80 to 71. But other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you want to support us, you can go ahead and click that link to go to my Patreon account. If you have any suggestions, you can go ahead and click the link in the show notes below to go to my Board Game Geek list. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.